President Trump heading to Georgia tomorrow, where he's expected to highlight America's economic gains under his leadership. Vice President JD Vance says the evidence on that one is clear.
If you're looking at it from the perspective of the last year, Americans have done better. If you're looking at it from the perspective of the Biden administration, we're still digging out of the hole the Democrats put us in. And I think that the question we're going to put to the American people is, do you want to give the government back over to the people who frankly burned down the house and made most Americans much less wealthy and much less safe? Or do you want to double down on the president's leadership?
And the president reminding voters on True Social that tax refunds this year will be substantially larger than ever before because of his signature, one big beautiful bill, now law. And so far, the average refund is more than $2,000, up 11% from last year. So we got the man on set right now who has been harping for, I would say months actually, tell the economic story.
Yeah.
You saw the vice president. Are you feeling good about that?
When I interviewed Trump, he talked about. He was very honest about it. He basically said, "Yeah, we have to." I forget his exact phrase, but we have to do better. Okay. He actually said that, and which is interesting. And when we were off camera, he turns. He had a couple senior staff guys there. And he turns to them. They're sort of in the doorway, saying, "I have to get out there. I have to get out there."
Make a note, right?
So that was interesting, but it's a good story. You know, Kevin Hassett estimates, NEC director Kevin Hassett estimates that because of the strong economy, with wages rising and inflation falling, people have picked up the median average about $1,400, okay, just from the economy. Now, add to that these rebates, refunds, which I think are going to something around $2,400. So, you know, that's about $3,500 in round numbers, okay? And that's that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for, again, the average, median, et cetera, middle class, working folks, kitchen table folks. And the other thing is, the CPI has come down, or slowing, I would say, so it's whatever it is, 2.4%.
Yep.
But, you know, John Carney, he did a thing, it's fantastic. He found 71 key prices, household prices, 71 that fell, okay, fell. I'm not going to go through it all. In the month of January, and I think he had another 45 key household prices that fell year on year. My favorite one was eggs, which is down about 38% year on year. And I texted my pal Brookie Rollins, who's the agriculture secretary, because she had worked on that at the beginning of the, remember that was a big thing, eggs were going up. And she sent me this weird thing, this guy dancing, coming back. That was, she texted me.
It's a meme.
Is that, I mean, is that, yeah. So,
oh, Larry.
and then she,
love you.
And then she had a little heart there. So I said, jump for joy, Brookie Rollins. So egg prices are coming down. A lot of prices come down.
Larry, the thing that I'm most impressed by in your dialogue with President Trump is his acknowledgement about the need to do better. And I think what Americans want to hear is, tell me what all the wins are. But when you can acknowledge where the misses are, or where the problems are, I think you earn more credibility. And I think right now we have to do that because we're living in a bit of a K-shape where we keep saying to people the economy's much better, but it's not for every single person. It's going to get better for every single person.
Yeah, you know, well, I thought that was a good moment for him. I agree. He loves to embellish. He loves to exaggerate. You know, the funniest one was when he said, that the economy should grow at 15%, okay? And so I've never seen, the lefties just went crazy, okay? So all there were thousands of Google alerts attacking that. When he said 15%, I said to him, I said, sir, that's a big number. But that didn't stop him. But mind you, he didn't say over what period.
Right.
Right? It could have I think he meant the next 3 years, 15%. Yeah. Anyway, that's how I covered that.
We talked about the CapEx numbers earlier.
You did?
You evoked the name of Kevin Hassett, and so I hear you on Kevin Hassett, and I raise you another one. Something that we've missed in this conversation also is the productivity gains. And he's talked about productivity gains unlike anything we've seen. And then he says that leads to higher wages. So, yes, that means you can have more productive workers, and maybe you need fewer of them. Or you can have more productive workers, and then you can hire them to do new jobs that have yet to be created in the future. One thing I'm thinking about, Larry, and let me know if you agree with me, is a J-shaped productivity curve. And I feel like we're at that inflection point where we've started to really see productivity take off, and we're about to slope up onto the other big J side of that, and where it explodes almost exponentially if this were a horizontal XY axis chart. I like that. I like productivity gains. I feel like that's one of the ways that we can grow ourselves out of this debt situation, which has been something that I've been talking about, but also wondering if it makes you a little bit nervous about sort of this low hire, low fire job market that doesn't feel dynamic, or am I a little bit too sour on that?
Well, first of all, if you want a J, Taylor, you can have a J.
Cool.
J. If you want J, have a J. Look, I'm looking at business capital goods, business equipment in the production report today. 0.9, 9/10 in January, 9/10 in December, 5/10 in November, 9.4% 3 months, 9.3% 12 months. These are astonishing numbers. And then you go to the other one from the durable goods, non-defense capex, orders 0.6, 6/10 in December, 8/10 in November, 5/10 in October. It's running 7.5%, almost 8% year on year.
Yeah.
These are phenomenal numbers. These are really unheard of numbers. And remember, and this is something he and I talked about in the interview. I mean, he was right on it. 100% depreciation, immediate cost expensing for all manner of equipment, credits, factories. This is something almost 10 years ago in 2015 and early 2016, when a bunch of us had a working group in the campaign, myself, Steve Moore, Steve Mnuchin, there were a couple other people, I insisted on 100% depreciation. It was taught to me many years ago by the most brilliant tax guy ever, this guy named Norman Ture, who once upon a time basically wrote the Kennedy tax cut. And then he worked for Wilbur Mills, and then he worked for Reagan as his undersecretary. Capital cost recovery. Capital cost recovery is what you're talking about. You basically put the cost, the expense of capital equipment at zero.
Incentivize me to spend money in my business. Give me a reason to spend money.
And you know what? Because you get that write-off, it helps your cash flow too, okay? You don't have to worry about that. You basically have putting money in. Now, my point is, it's working, okay? It's working with these numbers. And so what does that mean? To me, it means if you're buying new equipment, you're building factories, all right? You're going to hire workers, and you're going to pay them a good wage. And because the productivity numbers are so damn good, it's cheap. The unit labor costs, we've talked about this, the cost of labor, 1.1% the last 4 quarters. And I doubt that'll move. And that's your basic inflation rate for the entire economy. That's the base inflation rate, 1.1%. So this is like win, 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 win. It will explode. It is exploding, and it will continue to explode.
Okay, now let's talk more about cash flow. Jackie, I want to bring you in, and I wonder if you want to talk at all about the tax rebate portion of this whole story a little bit. How do you read
my mind like that?
Well, you know, I just have, we've worked together for a long time.
How do you do that?
Jackie, taxes.
Well, I have some questions, and Larry, I defer to you on this. I'm wondering, because I was looking at those stats that you used in your intro, I was fascinated by them. If we're looking at returns that are filed so far, they haven't, a small portion have been. People usually wait to the deadline. So if people are seeing an average of 10% higher than it was last year, how does that get accounted for in wages? Because truly that was part of your wage that was taken from you, and now it's being given back to you. Is there any way to calculate that? And before I let you rip on that, then I just wanted to ask you, the productivity stuff that you were talking about, everybody talks about Reaganomics and how long it took to kick in because of all the problems that were in place. Obviously, you were there. So talk to me in terms of the timeline of all of this and what people can expect, because we do need an element of patience. And somehow when it comes to President Trump, they're like, he's been there for a year and he hasn't fixed it yet. What's the problem?
Your Reagan point is a good point. Reagan made a big mistake. I was there and I fought this, but internally we lost. The supply side of his tax cuts really didn't take full effect for 3 years.
Right.
For 3 years. So you wait.
Right.
And then the third year, which was 1983, the whole thing exploded. Laffer was just saying the other day, he actually got 15% growth over some 18-month period. Anyway, the good thing about Trump is these kicked in immediately. Immediately, no wait. We won that battle.
Okay.
Won it in the first term, won it in the second term. And here's another point. The 100% depreciation, which is going to affect all this stuff, is permanent. It doesn't go 100, 80, 60, 40 like it did in the first term tax bill. This tax bill is much better. So I don't know how to calculate. Your question about the wages.
The tax return.
I'm not sure.
Will they kind of do any back of the napkin way to look at that? Because I don't
somebody
think,
should.
To a certain degree, I don't think it would be really fair not to.
Jackie,
Somebody
can you say it again? I didn't understand.
I'll try to get somebody to do
Sure. So just to clarify, what I was saying was, I think the average that we said was people are seeing a 10% increase from their return last year so far.
Yes.
So I think that number is going to end up being higher by the time everybody has filed, because only a short number of people have filed. My question is, if those were withholdings from your paycheck that you're now getting back as a result of the big beautiful bill, then that was really essentially part of your wage, right? So how can we add that back in some way and calculate the wage growth that we're truly seeing, if that's a piece of it?
Meaning that the tax code changed and it had not been pushed backwards. And so, but we're going to have it going forwards as well. And I think that's the important distinction.
Yes. I mean, the promise this year is you get a bigger rebate and your take-home pay, like the paycheck itself, is going to be bigger because now your withholding has changed.
That's right.
She wants to annualize.
I want to annualize that.
Last year's take-home pay increase from this year's refund.
I'll tell you what, I'll get out a mainframe computer in the break and we'll run those numbers.
The $1,400 that they've seen improving in their take-home pay, not the refunds, but just from the better economy and lowering prices. That's about a 2% increase. It's about 2%, 1.92%, something like that. The refunds, I got to think, if it's about $2,500, I don't know. That's another probably 2 to 3%. I'm just guessing.
That's significant.
Oh, very significant. If you put them together, yes. I mean, those kitchen table folks.
It's more money on the table.
All right. They're going to be very happy.
Hopefully they don't spend it.
We'll get out our abacus in the break, check the math.